All right, what's going on, everybody? Evan from East Coast Gridiron here, joined with wide receiver Ricky Pearsall from Florida. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah, you enjoying it over here, man?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, so first question that I got for you is, so in your farewell video that you posted on Twitter, quote, "I will do everything in my power to make the Gator Nation proud while fulfilling my lifelong dream. Much love to all involved in my journey," end quote. Now, you originally started off from Arizona. What does it mean to kind of carry that orange and blue for you for the rest of your life? And, how are you going to use it to help you in your career in the NFL?
Yeah, man, I just had a lot of great people over at Florida, man. I was extremely blessed to get this opportunity to go over there and, experience some things that were life-changing for myself, I'm just extremely blessed to have relationships built over there, teammates, my coaches, and now I got really good friends in my corner. So I think that's really what football is about, is all the relationships that you build inside that locker room. So I'm extremely blessed to have people like that.
Hey, man, I was blessed to have you. You were a killer in the field. So throughout your entire career, even at Arizona State, you've kind of had the title of a self-admitted mama's boy. So much so, I saw there was even a story. She got a call from your PE coach talking about how, So, quote, "When we're in PE and we're playing basketball, Ricky would always pick the special needs kid to be on his team." Your mom responded with, "That's huge. Ricky didn't have to win the game. He had to win the game of life." How much of an impact has your mother been, and, what does that attitude say about just in general of how much of a person you are?
Yeah, I mean, my mom, she's everything to me. She's built this character and personality that I've had to carry through my life. So, I give her all the credit in the world, and, I just try to apply to my life what she applies to her. So, treating everybody with respect, being able to treat everybody, no matter if you're talking to the janitor or you're talking about the highest person, in the room. So it doesn't matter, being a consistent person day in and day out.
All right. So, again, as mentioned before, originally you started off in Arizona State in 2019. Transferred to Florida. So in your career, you've dealt with three different quarterbacks: Jalen Daniels at Arizona State, Anthony Richardson, and then this year, Graham Mertz. So kind of, what was the challenge of going through three different quarterbacks each year? What were the struggles between accuracy, throw, power, and has that helped you a little bit with the Senior Bowl? Because for everybody else, they're dealing with new quarterbacks. This is kind of, yesterday's news for you at this point.
Yeah, I'm definitely used to having multiple quarterbacks. But, man, I was lucky to have good quarterbacks. So I will say that. I was lucky to have people that are willing to put in the work, too, as well. And I think that's really important, especially because when I got to Florida, it was in the summer. And so I had to get with Anthony right away and start developing that trust and that relationship with him. But he was willing to put in the work with me. So I think it goes both ways with that. He's got to get used to me, and I got to get used to him. So, and they're all obviously really talented, have all the arm power in the world, all the arm talent in the world. So, they made my life easier. But obviously putting in time and effort was what created that.
Yeah. Now, I know you get asked about this a lot, but that catch against Charleston, man, what was going on through your head? Because I know you had said a big play had to be made. So, again, if you could just kind of give a POV of what went on from line of scrimmage, catching the ball one hand in the air, getting popped, and then just having to pop back up. What was all going on through the head?
Yeah, man. So we called a seam read. We knew that it was a middle closed look, so I was keeping the seam. And I looked at Graham, he looked at me, so I was like, yeah, this ball's going to be up in the air. So I started running down the seam, and I tried to keep it skinny so the corner and the safety couldn't fall onto me, but the ball got lofted a little bit. Graham let it go, and he trusts me to make a play. So I went up there and made a play, made a great one too. And throwing up one hand made it a little bit easier for me because I took a big shot, but it could have been worse if I put two up there. I would have exposed a lot. So I think putting in one in the opposite hand made it better.
Well, it definitely looked better, and SportsCenter thought so too, as it was number one for a good chunk. And then so just another question. I want to talk about your number at Florida. You were given the coveted number one. A lot of Florida greats have had that. Vernon Hargreaves, Janoris Jenkins, Percy Harvin. What did it mean for you, especially under a new coach in, Billy Napier? This is your first year here, and automatically right off the bat, you've been given the number one for Florida. What did that mean for you?
Yeah, man, it meant everything, just because all the history and the tradition in that number, man. I was well aware of it. They was telling me about it on my visit, and just to see guys like Percy Harvin wear that, I knew I had to wear it with pride. And when Coach Napier told me that he was going to give me that number, I knew I had to represent it. And I just was super blessed to be given that opportunity. And I just wanted to say shout out to my teammates too, for trusting me to wear that number with pride, and all the Gator family too.
Yeah, you definitely made that number proud. That's for damn sure. And then just last question I want to add. A lot of speed's been added to this wide receiver group. For those outside of Gator Nation, I want you to tell, the viewers, who's to be expected to be wearing number one next?
That's a great question. That ultimately comes down to what Coach Napier has in mind. But for me, I'm gonna go Trey Wilson. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go Trey Wilson.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah. You know, I tried to when we did the last practice, I tried to switch jerseys with him, and he did it, and it looked good. So you know, I think he deserves it.
I mean, yeah, I can agree with that. All right, you ready to give a Gator Chums the camera one last time? Here we go. I got caught on the court. Ignore it. Thank you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, Rick.